5 months into DMZ, and somehow one question still refuses to die. What exactly are affixes? And honestly, I get why. Because the game barely explains them properly. Yet, at the same time, players are spending millions chasing perfect rolls without fully understanding what they're even hunting for. So today, let's actually break the system down properly. Not with clickbait, not with fake best affix guaranteed nonsense. Just the truth about how affixes actually work in DMZ. And before we even talk about the ultra weapons, 9-slot monsters, or those ridiculous damage stacking builds everyone flexes online, you first need to understand that there are 3 types of affixes. Because once you understand these 3 categories, the entire system suddenly makes more sense. The first category is control affixes. These are things like recoil control, ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, weapon stability, horizontal recoil reduction, and vertical recoil reduction. All these stats affect how your weapon feels. Now these affixes are interesting because technically they don't increase damage, but indirectly they absolutely increase your ability to win fights. Take the Ram 7 for example. Aggressive weapon, high fire rate, incredible close to mid-range pressure, but it kicks, especially during sustained fire. Now, imagine taking that exact same Ram 7 and rolling vertical recoil control and stability affixes on it. Suddenly, the weapon feels calmer. Tracking becomes easier. Your aim stops bouncing around. You miss fewer bullets and do not panic during fights. The weapon itself didn't magically become stronger. You simply became more efficient with it. And that's the thing most people misunderstand. Control affixes don't carry bad players. They increase consistency. And consistency is one of the strongest things you can have in DMZ. Because a weapon that performs reliably every single fight is far more dangerous than a weapon that occasionally feels overpowered. Now for the second category, multiplier affixes. This is where the real addiction starts. These are affixes like torso multiplier, FMJ, arm damage multiplier, legs damage multiplier, and unhidden modifiers that directly increase damage values. And on paper, the numbers don't even look impressive. 0.1, 0.2, maybe 0.3 if you're lucky. But those tiny numbers completely change the time to kill. A torso multiplier adding around 0.2 to the upper chest and stomach damage suddenly means missed headshots aren't as punishing anymore. FMJ spreading small bonuses across multiple body parts means almost every shot hits harder. Your bullets become more forgiving, and in fast fights, forgiving weapons are terrifying. Because now you don't need perfect aim every single second. Anything that lands starts doing meaningful damage. But again, multiplier affixes only matter if you're landing shots. And this is where some players completely misunderstand the system. Affixes are amplifiers, not replacements for skills. You can hand a god tier weapon to someone with poor tracking and they'll still lose fights they should have won. And now for the third category, hybrid affixes. These are the dangerous ones because hybrid gives power with a downside. And if you don't understand the trade-off, the weapon starts feeling inconsistent. The best example is Vital Strike. Probably one of the most talked about affixes in DMZ right now. Vital Strike boosts upper body damage significantly, but reduces lower body damage. Meaning, if your aim placement is disciplined, the weapon feels unbelievable. You melt people. But if your recoil drifts downwards or your tracking slips under pressure, suddenly your damage falls apart. And this is why some people swear Vital Strike is broken, while others think it's overrated. Because hybrid affixes reward precision. They punish mistakes. And this is exactly where DMZ starts becoming dangerous. Because once players understand hybrid affixes, they start chasing combinations. Torso multipliers plus Vital Strike, FMJ stacked with upper body damage, control affixes combined with recoil heavy weapons, and when these combinations are aligned properly, you start seeing completely absurd numbers. 0.4, 0.5, sometimes even more, depending on the weapon platform. And that's what the community calls a unicorn roll. A weapon so perfectly aligned that it almost feels illegal. Now imagine that unicorn roll on an ultra weapon with 8 or 9 attachment slots. That's no longer a unicorn. That's a kraken. That's the kind of weapon that deletes players before they can even process what happened. And now, 5 months into DMZ, these ultra weapons are becoming more accessible than ever. You can get them through crafting systems, you can get them through using DMZ credits that you earn through refining materials and resources. And because of that, more players now have access to guaranteed 3 affix ultra weapons with insane attachment potential, which sounds amazing at first until you realize what it's doing to the player base. Because now, everyone thinks they need the perfect roll. And that mindset is dangerous. Players are spending hundreds of millions re-rolling weapons endlessly, trying to recreate screenshots they saw online from creators or lucky players. And this is where I need to say something important. Most people are copying results without understanding the system behind them. You see a creator showing a perfect 3 affix ultra weapon with 9 attachment slots and instantly assume that's the meta. No, that's luck mixed with understanding. Huge difference, because what creators usually don't show you is the amount of failed rolls before that perfect weapon appeared. Sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands. At some point, you're no longer building intelligently, you're gambling. And this is the biggest misconception in DMZ right now. Players think affixes are the foundation of a weapon. They are not. Your build is the foundation. Your attachment synergy is the foundation. Your recoil management, mobility balance, and weapon handling are the foundation. Affixes simply enhance what already exists. A terrible build with perfect affixes is still a terrible weapon. Meanwhile, a clean, balanced build with average affixes will consistently outperform random god roll setups in real matches. Because reliability wins over time, not luck. And honestly, this is why some players with average gear still dominate lobbies, while others with insane rolls keep losing fights. One player understands the weapon, the other only understands the numbers. So stop blindly chasing unicorn rolls. Understand why certain affixes work. Understand how they interact with specific weapons. Understand whether your build actually benefits from them. Because once you understand the system, you stop wasting resources chasing random luck and start building intelligently. And in a mode like DMZ, consistency, control, and understanding will always outperform blind gambling. Stay sharp, stay frosty.